Okay, the Daiwa Infinity X45 Carp rod. Yeah, it's a particularly good rod. It's got good quality materials used. I say this pips the other rods because it's got good balance, it's subtle and power there, and it's available at a price which is compared to all the other rods is it's just better value really. So there is a similar rod. It's the Basic X45, and they are very similar. So the Infinity X45 comes in at £200 cheaper, so you're getting better value for money with that. So the rod feels ultra smooth on the cast. V-joint technology in the joints and C-guide TGG rod rings. Feels frictionless, so you think you can cast quite a long way with it. Playing fish, it's good. It's got a good playing fish capability, and you can feel every bump and grind. If you're sort of searching the bottom there for features, it's got quite a sensitive tip. So it'll cast, a fair way. You better cast 100 yards or something like that. But with the bait boat, obviously you better get a bit further. So with something so light and subtle, you could equally contain as much power as it does. So the go-to version is the 12-foot 3.25 test curve. For me, £3 would be ideal, but this one in particular is 3.25. Great balance and power, and you can hit 130 yards with a 5-ounce lead on a good day. That's if you want to use 5-ounce leads on a rod like of that test curve. So the pros of this. So it's just reiterate. So it's got a good fish feel. It feels good quality in your hands. Extremely lightweight. Beautifully sleek finish, rock solid reel seat, which is important. It's got good casting capabilities, and it uses the Daiwa V-joint technology. So disadvantage is it's not cheap, and it's only available in two test curves. So it's the 3.25 and the 3.75, and I think the latter is got a lot more distance capabilities, but it'd be a lot stiffer for fish playing, and £330, which ain't cheap. So the Shimano Tribal comes in at number 2. They've been around for a while now with the Carp Angler, UK Carp Angler. They're perfect for people who want something of high quality, a affordable rod. So they're a great all-round carp rod, versatile. And they're available in multiple lengths, so you can adapt to an array of tactics. If you need to change from fishing 80 yards out on the bottom to 20 yards out on the surface, and you can do that with the TX2 as a price that doesn't match the premium end of the market. Okay, so it strikes me as a good value rod, lightweight and easy to cast. TX2 is available in a range of test curves, ranging from £2.75, which would be a good pipe rod, to £3.5, which is getting a bit on the stiff side. Yeah, so the 2.75 they're saying is sort of good for stalking, so you can double up with that. Like I say, you can double up with the pipe rod. They're saying it's lacking a bit of power, the 2.75, but yeah, okay. Obviously, the further you're casting, if you're fishing and you're trying to hook a fish at 100 yards and stuff like that, with mono is a lot of stretch. However, you'd like to think the bolt rig does the hooking bit for you, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Really, you want to be looking for fish playability for me, and quality of components. You don't want to go too cheap, because some rings can sort of break, and the liner can pop out, and do you know what I'm saying? They can, they're not invincible. Obviously, the more money you spend, the more effort and better quality components is put into the rod, and it lasts you longer. especially if you're doing it a lot. If you're doing it a lot, you're probably going to be buying top end gear anyway. So yeah, just go through the pros. So the rod comes with a protective cloth bag. It's got good casting action for the price. It's well made and it's affordable. Represents value for money. So yeah, so it's got a variety of test curves and lengths like what we've discussed, and it's highly versatile. So there you go. That's the reason why that's number 2. And disadvantages quickly. So with the different models available, they're saying it's a shame there isn't a 3.75 pound real distance caster as an option. However, with the bait boat, do you really need it? Okay, saying the real seat fittings could have looked better, but okay, looks. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Right, so we've got the best budget carp rod, the Daiwa Black Widow. So it's talking about being reliable, and it's an average entry level carp rod. Okay, Daiwa have been around for donkeys and deliver stuff which won't let you down. I would say not too much. I've never experienced it. Variety of test curves with this particular brand to fish different styles of venue. Black Widow doesn't exactly excel in terms of how it feels in the hand, looks or performs to compare with Daiwa's elite models. But there you go. That's what you pay your money for. If you're just starting out, there's nothing wrong with it, and it will catch your fish. No reason why it couldn't catch you big fish as well. So if that's what you can afford, that will do a job. And so yeah, just to quickly run through the pros there. So we've got versatility thanks to different test curves available in the range. Reliable, budget-friendly carp rod, represents good value for money. Carbon blank is lightweight. Reasonably powerful in the 3.5 pound test curve, but you wouldn't probably need that. I'd say 3 pound would be plenty. Still made with quality materials despite its low price point. Absorbs fish lunges really well under the tip. Alright, and if you want to pull holes in it, lack a degree of subtleness you get with more premium models, which you would expect. While respectable, the rod's performance overall is decent at best, but it's hard to complain given its price. Right, best for casting long distances, Century Stealth. Yeah, Century have always had a reputation in the surf casting world of distance casting, so they've crept into the carp world. But the bait boat is taking it away from them, I would imagine. So yeah, it's typical from Century. So they look amazing, very sleek, a real expensive blank. They have fantastic fittings, real seating, all that sort of stuff. Heavily tested for its purpose, distance casting. So this is a Century Stealth, Graphene it's called here. In terms of playing fish, I actually think it performs ever so slightly better than the Infinity X45. So it's saying it's really amazing fishing rod as well, not just for casting. And when I'm talking about casting, this sort of rod would be, out of all the carp rods, this would be the real deal, So it feels very light, effortless to hold. So it's exhilarating fish playability and fit of components as well. So this is a real top end rod. Talks about carbon taper, a powerful and responsive feel. What else have we got? 13 foot, 3.5 test curve. That'll be as stiff as hell, that. Talking about fish at 160 yards and 40 pound fish on it, copes really well. So talking about 13 foot, 3.5 pound version, or the 12 foot, 3.7 test curve version. So with those stiff test curves, they're using those to really whack out the legs. So for me, although they say there's good fish playability with that rod, if you go into a 3.5 pound test curve, I would say that's still massively overkill. And I personally wouldn't, with bait boats being on the market, I personally wouldn't spend that sort of money on a rod. You're looking at nearly £500 for this rod. So I'd be looking at something which is going to have a much more fish playability out of this lot, and be looking at something about £3, 3.25 test curve. I've owned rods which are £3.5. Yes, they're good, they're brilliant for casting, and they're okay when you got a fish on, but they're just a little bit too stiff, and I have actually lost fish because the rod has been too stiff. So yeah, just a quick one with the Pro. So we've got 4 test curve options available. It's a powerful rod, yet responsive. Enhanced resin system makes the rod super strong. Reduced line frap thanks to anti-twist technology. Titanium stealth finish, 6 line guides for smooth casting. It's expensive as a disadvantage. And yes, 500 quid. Right, the best 10-foot carp rod, Nash Scope Black Ops. Okay, this one could be used as a boat pipe rod. Alright. So they look good. It's got quality carbon fittings. It's got a line clip, 2-piece rod with a retractable butt section. So it packs down nicely. 50mm eyes and 60mm anti-frap tip guide for smooth, effortless casting. Blank uses extreme strength, high modulus carbon cross wrapping. It's lightweight. Looks very slick, distinctive, stealth look, which is nice if you want to have a look at it and stuff. Handles paracord grip, stays in the hand like Velcro. Okay. The Scope Black Ops performs exceptionally well when stalking carp. Okay, so it says limited selection of lengths test curves available, not ideal for fishing larger venues. Okay, it says here, but even so, 100 yards with a 4-ounce lead with this rod. All right, available in 9 and 10-foot lengths, and with test curves of either 3 or 3.5. Okay. There you go, and you're looking at 300 quid, so that's a lot of money for something like that. Best telescopic carp rod, I didn't even know they'd done them. Sonik Insurgent. Okay, so talking about, well, where can I start with this? So obviously it's a great space saving option, isn't it? To have sort of a telescopic rod. I've never got on very well with telescopic rods, however, they always looked so poorly built, but nowadays I think that the technology's improved no end. So with this particular one is progressive action. So it's progressive right through the blank, so to speak, so that'd be offer quite good fish playability. It's good for stalking. It looks good. Disadvantages: Insurgent range of rods excels in space saving and convenience, but casting performance is lacking a bit compared to more advanced rods, non-telescopic. Okay, so talking about lengths of 9 and 10 feet, another model of 12 foot. Stalking purposes, are shorter lengths are perfect. And they're saying the 12-foot version is probably the better one. So you're looking at 75 quid for something like that. So the ESP Onyx stalking rod. Okay, so the rod is compact. It's lightweight for the roaming. Casts surprisingly well to its 6 lightweight Minima style stainless guides. It's got a moulded line clip, anti-frap tip ring, available in 9 and 10 foot lengths. Different number of test curve options, represents great value for money. Not really suitable for long distance casting, 85 quid. So best surface fishing rod, Nash Flota, Rota. Okay, so this is You can pick this up for 140 quid. And we'll just work our way through the advantages. So it's designed for surface fishing. It's got good balance and power and finesse. It's lightweight designed. It's got optimal length and test curves. So we've got a 12-foot, 2.5 pound test curve. It's got enhanced casting ability. Effective shock absorption. Okay. So it can handle aggressive lunges from fish, ensuring fewer lost catches. So that's important. Haven't you? You've got a stiff rod, you know. And you can pick that up for about 140 quid. So number 9, the best carp rod for beginners, Fox EOS Pro. Okay, so the advantages are, you can pick this rod up for 55 quid. So the rod packs good features and build quality. So it's versatile. It's got a different variety of test curves and lengths. It's a good all-round carp rod. What else is it? It's good looking, tasteful finishings, and low resin carbon blanks. It's lightweight without compromising durability. Anti-frap tip guide and slick air guides. So it's a reliable caster. Okay. Yeah, so that's 55 quid if that's sort of a budget option if you're looking to start up. Best Spod rod, Daiwa Infinity X45. Okay, a real feel of quality, extremely lightweight, extremely powerful, very expensive though, £325. Uses a Daiwa V-joint carber layering, cast really heavy and loaded spods and spawns accurately with limited effort, which is important. Rock solid reel seat, beautifully sleek finish. Disadvantages is the cost, it's not the cheapest, and it's only available in 12-foot lengths. Right, so the best marker rod, Trakker, Propel. So advantages, so versatility, so the rod's designed for both spod and marker work. It's available in 12 and 13-foot lengths. Powerful fast taper blank. It's possible to reach long distances accurately. What else have we got here? Well thought out guides, 50mm butt rings and anti-frap tip. Set for distance casting with heavy spods. Handle comes with a nice and comfortable shrink wrapped handle with a flared butt. Disadvantages. So it's not quite at the premium price point of some of the other elite Spod rods. It still comes with a fairly hefty price tag. Hello there guys, so this is the 10 best carp rods in 2024. So with regards to selecting a carp rod, so you want to look at components. For me, the more money you spend on a rod, the better quality it's going to be. So that would be an indication on what you want to spend. If you're starting out, you know, there's rods which are okay for like about 50 quid, and then you can spend up to about 400 quid. Just a question of how much money you've got, really. So obviously the more expensive rods will be better at playing fish, better for casting, all those sort of things. But if you're, if you've got a bait boat and, you're positioning your baits, then really you don't need that much good a rod at all. Just get a sort of a, run-of-the-mill one. So the rods we're going to discuss today is the Daiwa Infinity, the Shimano Tribal, the Daiwa Black Widow, budget options, and then we're going to look at some long distance options, 10-foot options, and now newly on the market, Telescopic rods for carp fishing, stalking rods, surface fishing rods, a rod that would be good for a beginner, and spod rod, marker rods, and the differentiation between those. So with regards to will a carp rod, any particular carp rod, make you catch better, this, that, and the other? Not really. It's the business end which counts. So really, you're looking. So how much money you've got to spend? Obviously, for me, if you want something to last, I mean, in theory, if you look after them, they'll all last. But yeah, it's just a question of what sort of style of fishing you're going to be doing. Whether you're fishing at distance, which have a much stiffer action and might not be so good when playing fish. So really, you want a rod which has got all-round sort of what I call a fishing rod. So really, you're probably looking at something about £100, I'd say, for a decent one. So yeah, stalking rods are usually a bit shorter, so you can sort of, fish in amongst trees and stuff like that. It's easier for casting and things like that, where a longer rod's a little bit more difficult. But you do spend money for that item, and really, it can only be used for that particular purpose. However, if you get something about £2.75 test curve, you could use that rod as a pike fishing rod on boat. That sort of, so you can sort of do it a bit like that. Surface rods tend to be a little bit more of a softer action and lighter test curve, so you might be able to use that for a bit of barbel fishing. Spod rods are as stiff as hell, used for sort of, whacking out your spod, torpedo, and getting it out there. But with the bait boats now, do you really need a spod rod? If you've got plenty of money and you don't mind, you want to have a rod for every purpose, then fair enough. Okay, so what to look for in a top carp rod? So it's obviously build quality. I've discussed that. Rod might have some particular features, the casting and feel of the rod, how well the rod plays the fish, and then value for money and all that sort of stuff. So with regards to sort of build quality, it's we won't go into too much depth on that. Obviously, short and sweet. The more money you spend, the better build quality it's going to be, and the better casting and feel it's going to have, better at playing fish, and all those sort of things. You just have to sort of weigh it up, really. For me, for a carp rod, £3 should be plenty, really. I would say to sort of, with £15 line, playing a big carp, that should be loads if you just take your time. I personally wouldn't go for the stiffer tip action rods, 3.5, 3.25. That's way too much for me, from my experience.